This is the most memorable area in Castlevania history, where everyone knows the line,
"Die, monster! You don't belong in this world!"
Yep, that's the one. But not every memorable place in Castlevania is a throne room. Or a boss arena, or even the castle itself. Sometimes the locations that stay with you the longest are the ones hidden beneath the surface. Areas you weren't expecting. Places that felt even more ancient than the Lord of Darkness himself. And somehow, these places draw us in with its mystery and wonder, as if trying to tell us a silent fable through its scenery. My name is Riggs, and today, I want to take you on a journey through 5 locations across the Castlevania series that stood out to me. Not because they were the biggest or most famous, but because they told us an unforgettable story. Starting with one of my favorite Castlevanias of all time, Symphony of the Night, or in this case, Nocturne in the Moonlight for the Sega Saturn. This little secret area felt like a true discovery when I saw it for the first time. And at that time, I had no idea it even existed, because I only had ever played the PlayStation version of Symphony of the Night. So you can imagine my surprise when I learned that hidden inside Nocturne in the Moonlight was something PlayStation players never saw: the Hidden Garden. And it doesn't feel like a normal castle area. It feels like a secret that slipped through development unnoticed. A quiet space tucked inside the architecture of Dracula's domain, where the usual tension of the castle suddenly gives way to something calmer, stranger, and almost peaceful. Even the enemies here feel slightly out of place compared to the rest of the castle. You fight red gargoyles, skeleton breeders, a strange gardener, and a Venus mantrap. But my favorite enemy in this area is the Jimenju, or in English, the human-faced tree. It shoots strange apples with angry faces at you, while wearing this unsettling smile of its own. And then of course, there's the spectacle of the skeleton leader fight at the end of the area, which can be surprisingly difficult if you arrive here too early. The environment itself feels separated from the main flow of progression, like it wasn't meant to be discovered by anyone. And maybe that's why it stayed with me, because Castlevania is full of iconic areas, but very few feel like they belong to another version of the castle entirely. The next area is from Harmony of Dissonance for the Game Boy Advance. If Dracula's castle is usually defined by darkness, then this next location does the opposite. Deep inside Harmony of Dissonance, the crystal-lined corridors of the castle transform the atmosphere completely. Walls shimmer, platforms glow. Every surface reflects light like you're walking through carved glass instead of stone. It almost feels unnatural, like the castle itself briefly stopped pretending to be a fortress and revealed something older underneath. Harmony of Dissonance is known for its brighter visual identity compared to other entries in the series. But nowhere is that more obvious than here. This area feels less like a hallway and more like a chamber preserved outside of time. Every visit feels like stepping into a hidden layer of the castle's structure that most players weren't expecting to find. And that contrast is exactly what makes it memorable. Super Castlevania 4 reimagined the original journey of Simon Belmont. But one of the places where that reimagining really stood out to me the most was the descent into the caverns beneath the castle grounds. I still remember the first time I reached this area. Up until that moment, Castlevania had always felt like torch-lit hallways, graveyards, towers, and the familiar world of werewolves, skeletons, and vampires. But the moment the game pulled me underground, something changed. The castle disappeared. And suddenly, I wasn't storming Dracula's fortress anymore. I was exploring something older than it. Water echoed through the tunnels. Stone opened into vast underground chambers. And the atmosphere shifted from gothic horror into something mysterious and ancient. There was a real sense of wonder the first time I walked through this section. Like I had stepped into a forgotten layer of the world that existed long before the Belmonts ever arrived. Even the enemies help sell that feeling. They feel like creatures that belong to the earth itself, buried centuries ago. All this, paired with the parallax scrolling, the environment really starts to feel alive, which is something that very few Super Nintendo games managed at the time. It's not just a level transition, it's a change of tone. Instead of storming the castle, you're entering the world beneath it. Like Simon isn't just approaching Dracula anymore, he's descending towards something older, waiting below. There's something captivating about the underground caverns in Castlevania Lords of Shadow. Before reaching the Enchanted Forest in Chapter 2, Gabriel Belmont passes through a forgotten civilization deep underground. And these caverns feel different from anything else in the game, because they're alive. Sunlight pours through openings in the stone ceiling above. Ancient statues stand half buried along the walls. Ruined architecture suggests something once existed here long before Gabriel arrived. Lands lost to time itself, shrouded in mystery. It feels like a catacomb, but not a tomb. More like a lost sanctuary reclaimed by nature. There's mystery in every chamber. Not because the game explains what happened here, but because it invites you to imagine what once existed beneath these ruins. And that silence makes the environment feel older than the story itself. Before Simon Belmont reaches Dracula's castle, he descends somewhere older than the castle itself, into the Forgotten Caves. A place where the earth hasn't just opened, but instead holds secrets buried in Castlevania Mirror of Fate. Soft waterfalls echo through the darkness. Underground rivers move quietly beneath the stone pathways. Crystals embedded deep in the cavern walls emit a faint blue glow that lights your path forward. And then there are the merfolk. Creatures that don't feel placed here as obstacles, but as part of the ecosystem beneath the castle. Like ancient guardians of something buried long before the Belmont bloodline ever arrived. As Simon moves deeper through these caves, the environment starts to feel less like a passage and more like an excavation. Ruined structures appear. Fragments of architecture emerge from the rock itself, evidence that someone or something was here first. And what makes the Forgotten Caves stand out the most is how quietly they tell that story, guided by the falling water and blue crystal light. As you pass deeper into the caves, you also find the merfolk guarding a strange gem, which ends up being the soul of Sypha Belnades. Did Dracula seal her up here, or was it just an ancient ruin of the Belnades family? And that mystery made this area more memorable for me. So, there you have it, my top 5 underrated places in Castlevania. I'm glad you guys have joined me on this journey. But what do you guys think? Do you guys have a list of your own? Go ahead and share it in the comments. I'm curious what you all think. And for those waiting for more weapon videos, don't worry. We're going to be visiting one of my favorite games on the PS2 that I think you all will like. This is Riggs signing off, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.